Friedrich Nietzsche was famously quoted as saying, "Cursed be the man who ever said, 'Happy are those who mourn.'" Friedrich Nietzsche preached that God is dead, we killed him. But that's not bad news, that's good news, because now we become gods. We become the Superman. And his disciples, Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, were responsible for more deaths combined than we've seen in the whole history of humanity in under 50 years. Cursed be the man who say happy those who mourn, or cursed be the man who puts his trust in man, as Jeremiah said today. Cursed be the man who puts all of his effort in his life in this life alone. Cursed, because he will reap what he has sown, and he has only sown for this life, cutting off all frontiers for the life of the world to come. They shall be like a dry tree in a desert whose earth is salt, zero fruit, zero future, zero happiness. How come, from my own personal experience, how come in Ecuador, when I was working in Ecuador, which is a third world country, right? They're not a first world country. They don't have what we have. They don't have the luxury and the comfort and the well-being that we have in the first world country, Ireland. This is third world country. They had nothing. How come when I'm in Ecuador doing missions, I found happier people than here in Ireland, if this is a third world country and Ireland's a first world country? Is it because a status of being a first world country has proven that that has not given us happiness? Although we have everything we've always wanted and needed. We have it. Yet having it has not produced happiness in here. Another question. In our first world developed country, with our first world developed leaders who care so much about us, 2023, 2024, number one cause of death. Was it cancer? Was it car accidents? Was it war? Was abortion? Number one cause of death. In the sanctuary where life is supposed to be most protected and safe, in the most beautiful thing that nature has ever seen, a mother, in a mother's womb, not even in a mother's womb is a baby safe anymore. Are we progressing? Are we coming into the fullness of happiness, or are we running at a breakneck speed towards destruction? You see, when we put our trust in man, when it's us, and we don't need you anymore, God, we don't need this God anymore because we found it ourselves. When that happens, our earth is salt in the sense that our tree of life is not getting what it needs to live, and we create the culture of death, because when we turn our back on God, who is life, we embrace the culture of death. So I ask myself, is it really true, cursed is the man who said, "Blessed are those who mourn"? Because we're not supposed to be mourning, we're supposed to be happy and enjoying this. Or is it Jeremiah who was right, who said, "Cursed is the man who puts his trust in man"? Blessed are you who mourn, because you have encountered the tree of life. You have encountered the vine, and you are the branch, and you get your life from the vine. You drink from the source of water. You know that this life here is not everything, and you know that the world is tricking us into believing that here and now is everything. You've tasted the venom of the world, and you know it's false. Happy are you who mourn, because the world does not make you laugh. You mourn because you're not in your homeland, which is in heaven. This earth is not paradise. We are not created to stay here. We are pilgrims in movement towards the life of the world to come. We are going to be united with God forever, with life itself, with the fullness of life. It's not here. We don't build to stay here. And that's why we mourn, because we're like a dislocated bone that's not in its place anymore, because we're not located where we need to be. We're moving. And that's why we're blessed, because we don't put our hope in this life. We have our hope like an anchor thrown up into paradise, into heaven, and we're on our way. So no, Nietzsche is not right. Nietzsche is not right. God is not dead. God has never been so alive. And this culture of death which we have embraced has within itself its own venom. It's going to end. And a culture of life will rise. Because people are starting to wake up and they're starting to realize that when you turn your back on God, you're facing death. You're facing unhappiness. You're facing emptiness. And we're facing statistics of rise in divorce, rise in suicide, rise in a meaningless existence. People are catching on, and they will come back. But they need us. Because if we're truly tasting the bread which contains in it all sweetness, every single thing that our heart is desiring is contained in the Eucharist. If we're tasting that, and we've experienced that, we need to bring this to that world which has its earth like salt. Because our earth, our roots, are delving deep into the river of life, like the psalm said. We have our roots planted in the river of life. They don't. They need us. Your family needs you. This country needs you. And don't think that your faith, don't think that your belief is just for you. It's not. Never have we needed it more than today. You need to go out there. And people need to see it on your face that you don't embrace the lie. You don't embrace death. You found life. Bring them back to confession. Bring them back to the sacrament that empties us of all that bogs us down. Sin. Bring them to confession, where they can have that removed. And they can find that in this life you can experience true happiness in God. That's what we need to do. We'll ask our Blessed Mother. We have her as a protector, as a very strong woman. It pains her to see what goes on, but that pain drives her to come and protect us. Return to our Blessed Mother. Return to the family rosary. Pray together. If it's not the whole family, it doesn't matter. Start with what you have every day. Don't let a day go by without praying to our Blessed Mother, so that we can truly be the ones that are blessed, because we don't put our trust in this life, but we're looking for the life of the world to come. Amen.